Hello, good morning, third graders. Today is Friday, April 10th, and we are working on the last portion of your reading packet today, week 3, day 5. This is lesson 9, and it's all about describing how characters act. And it says that describing how characters in a story respond to important events and challenges will help you to understand how and why they act the way they do. So we're going to start with this little activity here where we look at the characters in the picture and see what they're doing. Remember, a challenge is a problem. So we're going to look at the characters, see what the problem is, and how they act with the problem. So we have a little boy who is playing on the floor and his car is broken, and it looks like his older brother standing up next to him telling him that he can help him. So the little boy on the floor is saying, "It's broken forever." And then the brother is saying, "I can fix that for you." So we can tell that the older brother is a very kind older brother. And it asks you here to complete the chart and tell what the challenge is, and then tell how each character responds to it. So here's the little boy right here. What is the challenge for both the little boy and the older boy? What is the problem? You're going to write that answer here on this side of your chart. How does the little boy respond or act about the problem? You're going to write that answer here. And then the older boy, how does the older boy respond or act about the problem? And you will write that answer here. Next, it wants you to talk. I want you to talk. What will make the little boy happy? Use what you see in the picture to answer the question. You're going to talk to anyone. You can talk to a parent. You can talk to a sibling, a brother. You can talk to anyone about this answer here. The next thing you're going to do is read the story called A Puppy for Oscar. Before you do this part, I do suggest that you pause your video and go up here and complete this section. And then you can push play again whenever you're finished. A Puppy for Oscar. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. You're going to read the story titled A Puppy for Oscar. Make sure you take note of the close reader habits, like circling sentences that tell what Oscar's challenge or problem is. Underline a sentence that tells how he responds or reacts to the challenge. So you'll do that now. Go ahead and pause the video, circle and underline your answers, and then we can move on. The next section is the Explore section, and it wants you to tell what the challenge of the story is and how does Oscar respond to it. So you should have already circled and underlined those two things in the passage, which will help you to answer this portion of your work. Complete the chart. Remember to reread the story to help you figure out how Oscar responds to his challenge. Oscar's challenge, that is whatever his problem is. You write that here in this section. And then how Oscar responds to the challenge over here in this section. I'm going to do this portion with you today. So we're going to go back up into the story and we're going to find Oscar's challenge and how he responds to the challenge. So here I can tell that Oscar's challenge is that he wants a puppy but cannot have one because they don't have a yard. So in this space right here for Oscar's challenge, let me see if I can type in, if it'll let me type. Here we go, text box. Excellent. Okay. Oscar's challenge is that he wants a puppy but doesn't have space for the puppy to play. Okay, that's his challenge. That is the problem. How does he respond to the challenge? Let's see how he acts, because he could either give up or he could find a solution to the problem. There's always a solution to a problem, but we're going to see how this character responds. So Oscar comes up with a plan to turn a city park into a park for dogs. That is how he responds. Oscar comes up with a plan to turn the city park into a park for dogs. Put my period at the end of my sentence. I need to scoot this over here. Okay, so we've answered that section. We found the challenge or the problem and how Oscar responds to the challenge. Number 2 wants you to talk. So take this time and answer this. What is the main thing Oscar does to respond to his challenge? Describe an event from the story to explain your answer. This is where you can take time to talk to a parent or a sibling about this. And then you're going to answer this question in writing on page 140. What do Oscar's actions tell you about him? Use an event from the story to explain. So here's where you're going to tell about Oscar, things that you know about him. Like, I can tell that he is a problem solver and he is persistent and does not give up easily. And then I could give examples from the story that prove that. So you are going to answer number 3, short response. You'll have to turn over a couple of pages right here where it says A Puppy for Oscar on page 140. And after you finish this portion, make sure you're restating the question and you're giving evidence from the story using your very best writing and using punctuation marks. After you finish that, you're going to go up here to what's called the snowstorm. You're going to read the snowstorm and make sure you're doing what the close reader habits asks you to do, like what problem do Greta and her mom have after they find Lizzie. Underline 2 sentences that tell what challenge they face. Go ahead and pause your video so that you can read that passage and then push play whenever you're ready to continue. Then you come to the think portion of the video. Why is finding a lost lamb a challenge for Greta and her mother? Go back into the story and find the correct answers. Then number 2, which best tells about the challenge that Greta and her mother must face after they find Lizzie? Number 3, talk. What do Greta and her mother do to respond to the challenge of finding the lost sheep? And then number 4, write a short answer response. Tell what Greta sees in the storm and how it will help her, her mother, and Lizzie get home. You will write your answer on page 141, and it gives you a hint. Think about how Greta responds or reacts to the new challenge or problem they face. So you'll turn over here to page 141, and this is where you will complete your answer for number 4. And it has a checklist. Go through and check and make sure you did all of these things on the checklist for both of your short answer questions. Now this portion is the independent practice, And if you choose to complete pages 37 through 137, 147, and 142 to 147. If you choose to complete this portion, I will be giving you 10 extra credit points towards your grade. This is just completely extra. It's up to you. I do recommend that you work on it even if it's this weekend before you get to it. Because your work is due on Monday. All these packets, the reading packet, the math packet, science and social studies, is all due back to school on Monday. So if you want extra points, you can go ahead and do the stone soup story. I do recommend it, but it is extra. So there it is. If you have any questions, please text me, call me. You can take a picture of whatever you're having trouble with and send it to me, and I can help you. I will be calling to check on you all today, and I hope you have a fantastic Friday and an even better weekend. Thank you, and have a